Hello, crafty friends. Welcome to another live. This Sunday, we are doing a card, and with Halloween just this week, I decided to make a Halloween card, and this one is ghoulishly fun. I love this card. Get a load of that. Isn't that fun? It's just full of just Halloween awesomeness. I really like it, and I really hope that you like it too. So we're using the Waffle Flower stamps and dies. So we're using the Postage Collage die. Love this. I use this a lot. I always keep some die cut and ready for use in the package. We're also using the Postage Collage Coloring Stencil. We'll pull that out and I'll show you how we use that. And then we're also using the Waffle Flower spiderweb set, the stamp set, and this fits perfectly into the windows. So for inks, to create our um, our fun background, we are using Distress Inks, Tim Holtz Distress Inks, and Scattered Straw, Wild Honey, Spiced Marmalade, and Vintage Photo. For the black, for the spider webs, I'm using Versifying Clair. I find it's really good for creating a nice fine line of black ink. So that's what we're using today for the spider webs. I already have my base cut. This is the base. It's just black cardstock. I had some fun black and cream zigzagged pattern paper. So I cut that to size, and then I went around the edges with the Distress ink and black soot. And then I went ahead and mounted it just with some tape. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this background. Like I said, I already have these cut, so I use the Postage Collage die with Hammermill white cardstock, and that's what we'll use today. It works really well with the Distress inks. So with this stencil set, there are two stencils. You have one that just creates a plain background, and it also has the hash lines around it, like what you would see on an airmail envelope. The second stencil, it also has those hash lines around it, but then there's hearts and stars and butterflies and circles and stripes. So these are what I call a basic set. And if you get the Postage Collage die, I really suggest you getting this stencil set too, because it's quite versatile, and yeah, it's a great little set to have. So this is the only stencil we're using today, just this one. So the cool thing about this set is that there are little hash lines on there. I don't know if you can see them. Probably can't. Oh, there you go. You can see a line there. You can kind of see a line there. So those lines line up with the stitching around the around each of the squares there. I have this taped to my mat. I don't have a grip mat, so I just tape it to my mat. And I think we're going to put one more piece down because that's flexing up a little bit. You definitely want to make sure that your paper and your stencil do not move during this process. Okay, so let's make sure this is all lined up, which it looks like it might be now. And you know what? I'm going to put one more or two more on that side. Okay, so first we're going to start with the scattered straw. So I'm using all new pads today, except for one, Spice Marmalade, which I just put on last Wednesday. So I might be rubbing a little bit harder than what I usually would, but I'm just randomly picking spots to add this great scattered straw. This is scattered straws in probably my top 10 of my favorite distress inks. It's a great color. Goes well with a lot of other colors. It's just a good yellow. There. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit more on there. There we go. Then next we're gonna move to the spice or the wild honey. And again, I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm just picking parts here and there to add this. This card is so easy to make, but the results are just stunning. I love the colors in this card. A little bit more right there. Actually, I might go back and put some more scattered straw on. Well, no, let's see how spice. Yeah, I'm just going to put a little bit more right there. Seems to be a light spot. I'm just going to put a little bit right there too. Just want to make sure I have good ink coverage. On this, I don't want to go too light with my colors, just because I really want this background to pop against the white, and then have it so that the spider webs pop against this color. So this color is Spiced Marmalade. So I'm just going to go in, and with this one now, I'm doing the counterclockwise and clockwise motion. I'm really getting in there and adding some color in. Just building up these colors. Oh, I like what I'm seeing. This is looking really good. Just this orange against the yellow and the scattered straw, and the light orange of the wild honey. It looks so nice. Just gonna add a little bit more there, a little bit more here maybe. And with this one, I'm kind of sticking to the corners and along the edges. Like, I'm not going into the middle so much. Just a little bit more in that corner. Okay, so I've got a good base of the yellows and oranges. So now I'm going to go in with Vintage Photo. And I'm not going into the middle of this at all with the Vintage Photo. I am focusing along the frames. I'm just lightly going in. Just like what you would do if you had, if you're making, or if you're putting a base on your card base, like a piece of paper on your card base. You usually like go along the edges just to give it that, the old vintage look. So that's what I'm doing here with each of these frames, just to help frame this even more. And that means that these colors are just going to pop even more. So it's just a nice light Vintage Photo along the edges. Yeah, so Vintage Photo I keep on my desk. I keep all my colors on my desk. I've got a little inkstand to my right here, but the vintage photo is the one it has to be the most accessible to me. This is the one I use the most. I'm just going to go along just a little bit more. Like I said, this is a new pad, blending pad, so I'm not getting a lot of ink on it just yet. Let's see, so I think we have good coverage now. And I know you're probably wondering, why are you spending so much time on the ink part of this? Why not just do the squares? And it's the attention to details with this ink portion of it that really helps make your card more spectacular. Okay, so here's the big reveal. Look at that. Like, that's just, I love the way that looks. These are great colors together, and it's so perfect for Halloween. These would be great colors for Thanksgiving or fall cards. I just love these colors together. Here, I'll pull this up so that you can see it. Isn't that awesome? I love that. Yeah, there's a little bit of, I've got some good light coming in today, so there's a glare again on that yellow, but yeah, it looks really awesome. I love it. Okay, so before we stamp the spider webs are on, I'm going to do one more thing just to give a more playful background to this. Is I'm taking my little water bottle here. I'm just going to barely push on it so that it kind of, well, not to be gross, like spits out. So I'm just kind of just doing flex on here. And then I've got a little towel handy. I'm just going to try that off really quick. Okay, so now you can see the little spots on there. Isn't that great? So I'm going to use my heat tool and just dry that off so that I won't have any issues with my stamping. So I apologize for the noise. Totally opened up my heat tool on my finger. That's going to leave a mark. Okay, so I've got that. And so now we get to put the spider webs on. And so with the stamp set, where did I put the stamps? With the, oh, right here, right in front of me. With the stamp set, there's 5 of them, but we have 6 spaces. So I think, well, I'll show you what I'll do here just to use up that spot there, because none of these spider webs really fit in there. They're not the right size. They're just too big. But there's a cool way around that. So I'm going to use, well, I'm going to take these inks out of the way. We don't need these anymore. So I'm going to use my stamp platform. And I'm just going to put these in different spots here. I've got one more I can put right there. Okay. So I am going to start placing these where I want them. I'm going to put this one here. I'm just going to have it kind of look like it's taking up the whole spot, which that looks good. This one I'll put just on this here. Make sure I'm lined up. Hopefully my head's not in the way. Okay, and then this one here. I'm going to put this one maybe right here. And then we have this one, which goes, oops, just like that. Perfect little fit there. I'm going to turn a little bit more though. Okay, so I'm putting this one here, but I'm going to restamp it and put it here too. Okay. So I'm just going to use, like I said, the Versify Nocturne. That's the ink I'm using for this. And like I said, this one works really well with the fine lines of this stamp set. And yeah, I really like the results of this. Just going to take that and just use my little block here to get some even results. And it looks like I didn't do that spot very well, so I'm going to do that one again just to make sure. Oh, and that one there. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do the whole thing again. I felt like I was going light, but you never know until you do it sometimes. Okay. Make sure I got in the middle of those two. Oh yeah, it looks great. Just look how it pops off that orange. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I'm going to move this here. Taking the other stamps off because we're not using them. And so for this one, I'm just going to have this little spider. He's going to hang out right there. So I'm going to stamp those two right now. And on this stamp set, there's a fine line stamp that will just have the spider dangling down. Look at that. That's awesome. But what I found when I was using it was that it's a little unbalanced. And what I mean is that when I go to put this on, sometimes it just tips over, and it's not the result that I want, obviously. See, and I don't like it going that way. Like, I really want it to go this way. It's just not well balanced, that's all. Let's see if that'll straighten up. And it doesn't. What I ended up doing for mine was I fussed around with this for a little bit, and then I ended up just drawing. Oh, there we go. I drew the line where it didn't set correctly. I just have a fine black marker, and it worked out well. Let's see how this works. Look at that. That's not bad. That looks pretty good, actually. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside. I'm done with the stamping now. Isn't that cute? I love it. Love it so much. It's so fun. Okay, so I'm just going to mount this on the base now because we're adding some parts that will be glued, and I just don't want to mess that up. Look at how that pops against the background. It's so fun. So I'm just going to elevate this with some foam tape. You can just mount it directly if you want to. A long time ago, I bought this Crafter's Companion tape, foam tape, and when you buy a package of them, you get a lot in it, and I'm still using this set. It's really good tape, too. The foam tape is, it's really good. So if this is still available, I highly suggest you guys getting it. It's great tape. Okay. And it's easy to take the paper off, which is nice. Oops. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to have this centered over this. So you might see my big head now. Isn't that fun? So fun. I'm giving this to my husband. He will like it. Okay, so next I used some words from the Tim Holtz Sizzix Thinlits set. It's called Handwritten Halloween. And there's haunted, Halloween, wicked, spooky, boo, toil and trouble, frightful, and beware. It's funny, I thought I had pulled out frightful, but I actually pulled out Halloween, and because I couldn't read it very well upside down, but Halloween fit perfectly on there. So that's what I'm going to use. Just want to lay that down. So I'm using my Nuvo clear drying glue. It has a good tip on it, and it, is able to go on this really well. So I'm sharing this orange one with you, this orange theme one. I also did different colors, which I'll show you after I'm done with this card, so that just in case you don't like this orange set, I'll show you another set of colors that I use. And that one turned out really well too. Yeah, so that fits nice across these two. I put a little bit too much glue on, but that's okay. Sometimes when you move fast, you get a little messy. Okay, so next I'm going to take my little tin. Where did that go? There we go. This is from Pink Fresh. It's their little embellishment tin, or at least that's what I'm using it for. And I find it's perfect for when I have leftover embellishments in there, just using the end there to put back into my container. So I'm taking some more of my little half gems that I bought at Michael's. You get a bag of these. There's 2,000 in a bag, and when it's on sale, it's $10. Regular price, it's $19.99, and that's Canadian. So I assume it's, maybe 3/4 of that or 60% of that in the US. But it's good price. And you can't, like if you pick colors that you're going to use a lot, like these are just iridescent ones with hints of green and pink in it and yellows, that, you'll be able to use this all year. So I'm just going to go around this and just randomly place them in spots. Now what's funny is I don't think I stamped any of the prices on this. Like with you can get a postage set. There's a couple of them actually where it says like 20 cents or airmail or whatever, but I did not do that for this one. Just because, I think it looks fine without it. 6, need one more. Does not want to flip over. Where am I going to put the extra one? Yeah, let's let fate decide this one. There we go. That looks good. And then after this, we're going to use some stickles, and I'll show you where I put them on my other one. And I really like how it turned out. It makes the spiders' bodies like pop. Yeah, so I'm just going to hand these. I'm going to give this one to my husband, and then I'm going to hand out, some other ones to my friends, and it's fun. It's not like we can go trick or treat. Well, I mean, we could go trick or treating, but it'd probably be frowned upon. But it's just nice to